Okay, it's a new day. You can see here I'm back on it again. And sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away from a project and let it mull over into your noodle a little bit. That's exactly what I did here. You can see taking the core support back out. But I left it all in here, the nose all on here. I did make my marks down there for that pitman arm. Right there. And I got it all set over here on the bench, ready to go. This kind of what I'll duplicate, but you can see this is round. Bottom of my radiator is flat with the little mounting tabs on the side. I gotta make this fit into this. Right here, or the camera doesn't want to pick it up, but that's where my pitman arm is. I'll move that up a little after I shove the radiator in up here. I'll bring it up to where my cap is just below the top of this, because this is where the hood's going to be. It rests up here on the top of this, kind of molds around. What I'll do is I'll set the radiator in there so the cap is, a good, maybe a 1/4 inch lower than that, so the hood doesn't hit it when it's closed. And I'll trim all of this off, all the way down, back in here somewhere, and cut it off flat. Then I'll dig into the scrap pile here, probably this guy right here, which just so happens to have also been my tranny mock-up piece. But that'll give me a good lip, a good straight lip. And I can weld down in here like that. Cut it off, and then the radiator will sit on that shelf. Re-drill in here somewhere 2 3/8 bolt holes that will drop down through that, and then catch that rise up piece that I got to make that comes from the cross member up the main cross member. And you can see me talk about that. It's probably too much. Will come up, and then it'll bolt onto there, with this being at the height that it needs for the hood to match. When I was setting the nose again, I know that car has been abused. In fact, well, she hasn't been on the road since '63. And when we took it apart, I don't think it ever seen a paved road. It spent most of its life on gravel roads, dirt roads. So it's probably rolled around the farm. You can see she's been mashed there. Big old mash there that somebody tried to do some body work, and looks like they gave up when they overdid it, underdid it, shrunk it, stretched it. Yeah, they just did a marble up, wonderful job on it there, which I happen to like. That's kind of a, I call them custom body lines. On a rat rod, they look good. That right there tells a story, and I kind of like the car to tell that story. I'm into dents. Anyway, the whole front of this car, like I said, she's been abused. the grill post here, if you look at it right down the center, it's not straight. It bows out and over, and you can see the crank hole where you used to be able to stick the crank in and start it if you needed to. It's oblong to this side, bowed out here, over here. On this side, this whole fender is pushed in, popped up there, and the hood itself, in its peak right here where it mounts in, is pushed back, twisted, and rolled up. All in all, making this hood extremely hard to get to fit right, especially where everything moves. Being a butterfly hood with the piano hinge that actually goes all the way up there is a nightmare. Total nightmare. I can see why the old body man that lives over there, 2 houses over, when he first got out of body shop school, he was still working on these fat fender cars when people were still driving them. And he hates these things because stuff like this, they're really hard to get to match all back up and make all your body lines perfect. They're hard. They're very, very hard. But for a rat rodder, hot rodder, no problem. Because we don't care quite so much about that. But when I set the hood, always had trouble with this side. Well, I found it. You can see that one's been hit, crunched in. This one works great. That's the way it's supposed to be. This one, not so much. I'm going to have to heat that and bend it back out. But when I put my radiator in, I got to be flush with that. So all of these bolts, these nuts on this side, and the bolts that go through and hold them, they got to come out. I got to shave them clear off. So what I'll do is I'm going to weld these in place. I'll put a tack there, a big heavy tack here and here on both sides to hold them in. Take them out. I won't plug weld them, so if they do have to come off, I can cut the welds, the tacks, take them off. But it'll be a heavy enough tack that those will hold into place. All of it's got to come off. Everything in here, see there's another one. That's got to come out, shaved off. And no matter how hard I tried, I don't think I'm able to put the radiator fan, the electric fan, behind. I think I'm going to have to put it up front. And to do that, these have got to come out. So I'll cut these off so I can get my fan back here. And with that, that nose piece support, it's going to have to come out. And what I'll do is kind of keep a little bit of it, and I'll shave it back, kind of try to make it look like it's supposed to be done that way. And if I have to, I can run some supports, just some little, probably 1/4 inch round stock, weld onto it, and come out here and weld to this piece to give it kind of a tri-piece to hold that in, because that's what holds the, I don't know what you call it, on a Ford you'd call it a parrot beak right here, but hold that all straight so that doesn't wobble. And I'm noticing these nice round edges up here like this, that's almost like a 90. That gave me this idea. What I'll do is I'll put that core support back in here, but I'm taking all of the ability to mount it. So I'll just weld it in place. The radiator can still come out. It'll bolt inside of there, and it can still come out. The fan can still come out. Everything there is still serviceable. The But the core support, when I'm done with it here, is going to be solid mounted to the front end. I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to do this.